This call is from a federal prison. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5. To block this call and all future calls, press 7. To reject this call, hang up now. You may begin speaking now.
Hey, you ready to do this? I'm good.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from Randall, an inmate at the Virginia Department of Corrections, Red Onion State Prison. To accept this call, press 0.
This is Randall Via, a.k.a. Red Onion Randy. I'm currently serving 1,214 years for capital murder and armed robbery. Now, and finally, at a level 3 Buckingham Correctional Center. Stone's throw from where I grew up. If you have any questions or comments or want to leave a message or whatever, I've got a voicemail line. That number is 1-888-524-1932. You can also visit my website, which is new and improved and got different features and whatnot at www.redonionrandy.com. And I hope you do. Let's get started with the podcast. Everybody, this is Red Onion Randy. We've got a special for y'all. 2019 Netflix documentary, The Tiger King, blew the up. I remember I was in Red Onion. I was still in the hole right before I got released to the Sam Sip pod and started working my way off the mountain. I remember, seeing everybody talking about it. The COs, the inmates, people on the street, the news media, the entertainment television shows, the talk show hosts. Like, it was 2019 was the year of the tiger. That's just what it was. And now, straight from a federal prison in Texas, Tiger King's on Red Onion Randy. We wanted to set it up to where me and him was on the phone on a three-way call, just doing what we do, talking, asking questions, me explaining to him what the state system's like, him explaining to me what the Fed system is like. Unfortunately, though, we couldn't do that simply because of prison regulations and rules. I'm applying for a conditional pardon with the state governor. Tiger King is applying for a pardon with President Trump, and he addresses that, in a little thing to Trump and why he should be pardoned and so on and so forth. And so we couldn't risk an institutional charge, unfortunately, but that would have been awesome. That really would have been cool just to be able to talk to him because he is a character. Like, that boy has personality for days. So my editor stepped up. They talked a little bit, and we let him say what he was going to say. We hope you enjoy it. Have at it, Joe. Take it.
Okay, well, my real name is Joseph Maldonado. Everybody knows me as Joe Exotic from the movie Tiger King, which was nothing but a hunk of junk fabricated in order to pass an animal rights law. I was born in Garden City, Kansas. I grew up in Wyoming. I was a police chief in Texas at the age of 19. Me and my brother owned a pet store in Arlington, Texas. He was killed in 97. That's when I moved to Oklahoma and started this sanctuary and this zoo with my mom and dad. And 23 years later, here I am in prison for nothing. I'm currently at the Federal Medical Center in Fort Worth, Texas, dealing with lung cancer and prostate cancer and my blood disease that I was born with. I am currently on appeal. I've been on appeal for 2.5 years. waiting for the slow ass system to decide what they're going to give me a new trial or not. It's over 1,000 exhibits of new evidence because Jeff and James and Alan that all testified against me has since then turned over their cell phones, which we obtained over 700 phone recordings and videos and text messages of the federal agents telling them how to lie during my trial in order to convict me, because everybody thought that, they were just going to put me in jail and take my zoo. Well, they put me in jail and they took my zoo, and then the feds and PETA and Carole turned on them and took it away from them. So they got all pissed off and turned over their cell phones with all this evidence on there. And they did video depositions that my lawyers have put on my website of them admitting to perjury and fabricating evidence in order to pull this all off. So, unfortunately, Joe is the one paying the price. Nobody's been charged with perjury. Nobody's been charged with conspiracy to commit murder, because the hitman Allen even held on world television on season 2 of Tiger King. Admitted that he took the film people and my lawyers to the zoo and showed them where he hid a murder weapon in the woods, where their original intention was to kill me in order to get the zoo. So everybody's walking free but me. I mean, we have a good feeling about my
This call is from a federal prison.
the new evidence, but you're up against a system that's corrupt as hell. Do they want to let this case? Do they want to let me win? Absolutely not, because they don't want to lose that conviction. But it's no different than President Trump. They indicted him 94 times. If a president can't beat an indictment and 34 convictions, how the hell am I supposed to?
You've been dealing with a lot of health issues over the years, so how have you found the healthcare system there inside the federal prison?
It's pathetic. I sat at sick call yesterday for 5 hours, waiting to have my chance to talk to a doctor and find out about these migraine headaches from all of this that I'm going through. And what's their answer? Get some ibuprofen or Tylenol off the commissary. That's their excuse, dude. I watch people die in here every week. They don't care because they're just going to fill the bed with somebody else.
This call is from a federal prison.
But the thing that I'm waiting to see if it's going to happen, because, Savannah Chrisley was on TV complaining and moaning and bitching that her parents were so mistreated in federal prison. Todd Chrisley got in trouble because he had a cell phone and took pictures and turned them over to, I think it was Chris Como, on the news. I want to say now that he got a pardon and he's out there, is he just going to shut up and go free and forget what he lived through and what 165,000 other people are living in? Or is he going to stand up and be honorable and say, look, man, President Trump, this is what's going on behind closed doors. They're selling drugs, the shit is moldy, the buildings are falling apart. I want to see if the man will stand up and be honorable, or if he's just going to do like everybody else, take the pardon and forget this ever happened. Because I damn sure ain't. If I make it out of here with a pardon or commuted my sentence, or if I have to serve my whole sentence, I'm going to testify in front of Congress, and we're going to tell the American people what the hell really goes on in here. Nobody ain't got a clue, I've been down 8 years now, and I made it on the street 55 years without ever seeing heroin, fentanyl, K2, or Saboskin. Until I come to prison. There's more drugs in here than there is in the entire county of Garbutt County, Oklahoma, where I lived. And if you can't keep them out of a fenced-in federal prison, you just will give up on that border.
Randy's done over 13 years in solitary confinement. I know you've done a little bit of time yourself in solitary. Can you tell us what that experience was like for you?
The first 2 years, from September the 7th of 2018 to March the 25th of 2020, I was kept in solitary confinement. So I couldn't call no one, I couldn't see no one, I couldn't help build my case, I couldn't help fight my case, I couldn't help get real lawyers, so I was forced to use public defenders. It only came and seen me 4 times, okay? And they developed their own story and just threw me to the wolves during my trial. While I was in solitary confinement at this federal holdover, which was a county jail, I was stripped naked, tied in a chair, put in the shower so long that the skin came off my arms from simply doing nothing but pushing the intercom button, wanting to know why the hell I was in solitary confinement. 2 years and 8 months. It should be illegal. It is the cruelest fucking thing that you could do to anybody. You can't do that to an animal. In my zoo, if I would have had a chimpanzee locked in a cage by itself, couldn't see anybody, they'd hang me, man, for animal cruelty. Why can't we do that to a human being? And then you're going to expect them to go out and transition into society and not hate people or be mentally fucked up. Do I hold some grudges against my government for what they've done to me? Yeah, but I'm strong-willed, and I've promised myself several things, and one is I'm not going to become an inmate. I've been in here 8 years, and I haven't touched any alcohol, drugs, or smoked a cigarette because I'm not, okay? I'm going to walk out of here a new person, clean. Everybody on Tiger King can kiss my ass. They're not even going to be a thought to me because I have whatever little time I have fighting 2 types of cancer. I am going to spend with my husband, whether it's in Mexico or America. But solitary confinement should be illegal. Every politician should have to spend 30 days in there to become a politician. And they should have to spend 30 days eating the food we eat in here, because look, there's people. I've been at the federal hospital. I'm at a federal medical center. Dude, there's people in here that don't even know they're alive, okay, and they're still in prison. All right, the taxpayers are paying the bill. Why? Where is the money train at in this system? Because there's so many people. When I was in Butner fighting cancer, they would wheel the people's whole bed down for cancer treatment because they're vegetables, but they're still giving them cancer treatment. Why are we doing this in America? Why is this happening?
So I know that you recently got married, and Randy wanted me to congratulate you on that for sure. But yeah, I know there's been some kind of situation with your husband recently being deported. Can you tell us about that and what's going on with your husband right now?
We always knew that he was scheduled to be deported. He was supposed to have a detention hearing a couple Mondays ago. They picked him up on Friday morning at 7 o'clock, and they took him straight to Mexico. So over a weekend, they had him in Mexico by Saturday morning, so they didn't have to worry about the court system, and because you're already in Mexico. Can you fight to come back? Screw that, He's safe at his aunt's house in Mexico. I talk to him a couple times a day, every day. He's doing good. Apparently he's got my passwords to my social media, and he's out there doing live videos, trying to get me home. I don't care if we have to ask for the president of Mexico to help make this call to Trump to let me out. I want to get out so I can take him up on his offer, and that is I'm going to go to work and the first $5 million I make, I'm going to buy a gold card for George to come back to America the right way if it takes $5 million.
That's great that you have them out there fighting for you and advocating for you like that.
Yeah, the Chrisleys had their daughter, on TV every day. Brittany Griner had her wife on TV every day to get out of Russia. These people all have somebody advocating for me out there. I have nobody. All of my people are dead since this has happened. And anybody that were friends of mine is too scared to get online and fight for me and get on TV and fight for me, because everybody that does, the government witnesses that testified against me, come after them. Where is witness tampering even in my case?
If you were able to speak to President Donald Trump, what would you say? What's your message to Trump?
Well, he pardoned Larry Hoover, who's been in prison a long time, and he pardoned the sheriff because his mom attended $1 million plate dinner for somebody, and he just pardoned the Chrisleys, who literally stole money, and tax fraud, and pled guilty. But what he does is his business. But what I would hope he would do is stand for some justice for us poor people that haven't got money to throw around or elbows to rub with somebody. I was a victim of a animal rights agenda with Carole Baskin and PETA in order to make tigers illegal to own as pets, which is pretty damn stupid, to steal a man's life and complete 55 years of hard work, in order to pass a law for an agenda. My parents have died since then. I've lost everything. So I never had a speeding ticket, man. Randy, in 55 years I've never had a speeding ticket. I'm not a threat to society, and hell, I would be happy to self-deport myself to Mexico to go live with my husband if it's, if America has an issue with me. But they shouldn't, because I didn't do anything wrong. I euthanized 5 tigers, big damn deal. They were 23 years old. They were crippled. My inspector told me to euthanize them that way. But where in the hell was she when it come time to testify in court? They couldn't, according to my public defenders, they couldn't locate her to subpoena her. How the hell you not locate a federal inspector? Nothing about my case makes sense. But what did finally make sense is they used 3 convicted felons to set me up and fabricate evidence. And at least I can say they were smart enough to record the feds the whole time they were doing it, because that's what's going to save me. But anyway, hey, this thing beeped, which means our 15 minutes is up. They're going to hang up any second. So, guys, thanks for giving me a voice and a platform. Tell everybody to get on joeexoticofficial.com, look at the evidence link, spread it around. Put hashtag Joe is next, free Joe Exotic everywhere you can. And get me home, please.
All right, that's all the time we have for now. I appreciate you listening to me. More than you'll probably ever know. I just want to let you know, don't forget to check out my website, rightonyourandy.com. And for those of you who want to hear more, or you want to listen to the episodes commercial free, or hear me and my editor discuss a little bit further into the episodes, please go to Patreon, join me, support me. It's only $5 a month. And just a reminder, I have a cookbook out. You're going to eat that. You can find it on our website or Amazon Kindle or Amazon Print.
Thank you for using GTL.